Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA. So 492, I am Brennan. UFC 317, Topuria versus Oliveira prelims. Right, this is going to be Jack Hermansson versus Gregory Rodrigues, and the rest of the prelims are going to go through all those fights, score them, talk about what happened in them. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That when the next video is coming out, I really appreciate it. And if you find yourself liking this video, hit the like button. Let's get into the fights. If you're looking for a specific fight, there's timestamps down below. Also, if you're looking for the main card and the main event, that's in the last video. All right, Jack Hermansson taking on Gregory Rodrigues. I didn't see how Hermansson was going to win this fight. You know, Rodrigues is a good enough grappler, unless, okay, actually that's not true. The way I saw Hermansson winning this was Rodrigues getting tired and Hermansson pulling ahead as the fight went on, right? Did not happen. Rodrigues is forward pressure, landing the 1-2s, you know, jabbing, keeping his, like Hermansson was jabbing, keeping his guard really high as he was backing up. Hermansson moving his head a lot and staying active on the feet, avoiding a lot of the big shots coming from Rodrigues. But, you know, he was taking a lot of damage. Big left hand from Rodrigues. Hermansson is out cold. Okay. Real quick, let's go on. Let's do a little bit of ranting here. So Herb Dean, I bitched about him last week. I'm going to bitch about him now. This whole thing about fighter safety and want to take care of fighters and all the reasons why all these fights, because we'll talk about it in the next fight, about these fights getting stopped early, is to protect the fighters from extra damage, to protect the fighters. Oh, he was going to take so much damage. Oh, he was going to take all these shots. Oh, and I know that for sure because I've watched fights and I know everything. No, you don't. You don't. When a guy is fighting to get back up, this is not pertaining to this fight. I'm going on a rant that I will continue in the next one. When a guy is wrestling up, he is still actively defending himself, whether you like how much damage he's taking or not. If he takes jabs and right hands the entire fight, adding up to an insane amount of damage that causes him permanent brain injury, you don't give a shit. You don't care about fighter safety when it comes to that stuff. You only care if he's slightly concussed. Or not even slightly concussed, if it doesn't look like he has his wits about him at all times. And then all of a sudden you become concerned about his safety. Except, apparently, when somebody's knocked the fuck out. Hermansson was flat on his back, unconscious. Rodrigues moves in, doing his job. Rodrigues is not to blame here. He could have pulled the punch. It is not his responsibility to stop fighting. He's supposed to fight until the bell or the ref. Actually, he's supposed to fight until the referee tells him to stop. Even the bell. It's the referee's job is to intervene. And guess who the fucking referee was again? Herb Dean. The lazy motherfucker who last week was like, oh, I saw you guys headbutt. Just continue. He did this motion, right? I talked about that last week. And what does he do here? He lets Hermansson take a giant fucking shot after he's out cold. And now you're going to say, like, don't change your fucking tune now. Don't go like, oh, well, Hermansson was going to get hit anyway. Or, oh, man, that's not that much damage. Or Herb Dean, what was he supposed to do? Fuck off. Fuck off with that. And we'll get right into it. Let's just start talking about the next fight. Because this rant will continue into the next one. Hyder Amil taking on Jose Delgado. Great strike by Delgado, and I don't want to take a single thing away from him. I don't want to take anything away from Delgado, okay? That is not what I'm doing here. Delgado lands a big knee, puts him down, and then Amil gets right back up. That was a bad stoppage. Now, this was Mark Goddard. And yes, here's the thing. They watched it in slow motion afterwards and then zoomed in on Amil's like eyes rolling back into his head and his arms going limp. But they didn't discuss the fact, one, it's slow motion, so it's 6 times slower or 4 times slower than it was in real life anyway. He immediately, after getting hit on the ground a second time, comes back up, wrestles up, and grabs the leg. And as Mark Goddard is going to stop them, he's already wrestling up. So what the fuck? You can't have it both ways. You can't tell me that in this fight, Mark Goddard was doing what was best for the fighter by stopping him from taking extra damage, which is the entire fucking point of fighting, by the way. But you need to have a definitive end. If the referee intervenes before it is necessary, you have controversy. Now, is this one going to be controversial? Probably not. It wasn't for anything. These guys aren't super well known, and it's probably not going to go anywhere, right? So I'm going to be more upset about it than most people are, because literally the very next fight, a situation occurs where a referee has the ability to actually stop additional damage from a guy who's actually knocked out cold and flat on his back, and in that case didn't do it. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. The commentary's flippant. They're, oh man, doggedness. They just see something happen in real time. They assume it's the right call, and then no matter what they see on the replay, that's just what they say. And unless you have someone like a Paul Felder, or sometimes, no, Michael Bisping's bad about it too. Paul Felder usually advocates for fighters, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Dominic Cruz, he advocates for the benefit of the fighter, giving them some extra time to work. So unless you have one of those guys on the broadcast that during the replay can apply some context, being like, hey, remember, this is slow motion. Hey, look at that. He's wrestling up. I don't know about that one. That might have been an early stoppage. It was close. I don't think it's a bad stoppage, but it's early, right? None of that happened. Absolutely none of that. It's just, oh, that was it. He made the right call. That's the right call. Mark Goddard made the right call. And then the very next one, like, oh, well, probably didn't need to let her take an extra punch. Anyway, moving on. I got to go eat. Fucking DC. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. I'm serious. This is ridiculous. Back-to-back fights having almost polar opposite viewpoints and not being able to articulate it properly to the public. That's unacceptable. Fucking ridiculous. All right, let's talk about a shit-ass fight. I'm already pissed, so I'm probably not going to cover this one too much. It just sucked anyways. You're not missing out on much. If you didn't watch this one on the prelims, let me save you 20 fucking minutes. Tracy Cortez gets her down and holds her down for most of the rounds. Yep, that's pretty much it. I said, like, let's see if Araujo can knock those fake lashes off of her. Nope, we didn't get that lucky. Anyway, Cortez gets her down, gets it back, and Araujo gets back up. She's fighting for the back. Cortez able to get on top and get her in her guard, blah, blah, blah. Lots of control time for Cortez, 2 minutes and 52 seconds. She wins this round. Second round, same thing. Gets her taken down at one point. She's holding her against the fence. She's circling the outside of the cage. Cortez falls into the clinch and holds her along the fence. She didn't really work for it. She just fell into it. And then Araujo fucking jumps guillotine and spends the rest of her round on her back. Stupid move, loses this one. Last round, Araujo gets the same. She catches a kick and then gets her down. We don't need to talk about it. 30-27. All three judges had it the same way. Shit fight. We don't need to talk about it. That being said, let's talk about a fun fight. That did not take very long. Terrance McKinney taking on Viacheslav Borshchev. Still one of my favorite nicknames in the UFC. Slava Claus. Terrance McKinney, I'm not bringing up stats. There was 2 punches for Borshchev, 1 punch for McKinney. McKinney gets right across the cage, catches a kick, gets him down, right? Rolls through, locks up an anaconda, then rolls on top, and a modified guillotine gets the finish. And Borshchev, like you could see it, I think in my thumbnail, I put it in there. Borshchev's head is so freaking red. And he's kicking his feet, trying to survive. Can't do it. McKinney, again, I know he was trying to say, like, oh, I need to be more patient this fight, not this and that. He can't help it. He's just so fucking exciting. Runs across the cage, immediately gets into a grappling exchange, and immediately locks something up. Awesome stuff. All right, Niko Price versus Jacobe Smith. Boy, it's hard to watch Niko Price fight sometimes. Let's talk about how this fight panned out. It not well for Price. Smith is landing big with that right hand, a huge left hand hurting Price early. Smith lifting and slamming him, getting some good ground and pound. Price was doing a decent job of tying him up, trying to do some damage from the bottom, shoulder crunching, a lot of things that he's able to take some of the sting and like prevent Smith from doing a lot of damage. But he just spent 3 minutes and 6 seconds on his back, essentially. Price was able to get back up after giving his back with the 1-2. Smith was actually moving a little labored already, and there was 60 seconds left in this round. Price with some chaos, landing well, and then Smith lands the left, just a stiff jab, and puts Price down at the end of the round. Obviously, this was Smith's round, 10-9. Second round, Smith moving a little slower, but he's still landing. Price rolling out of the way, hitting on the exits like a weirdo, right? He's got a very unorthodox style. Price kicks the legs out twice, but gets taken down, and then gets his back taken again. Or sorry, he is attacking from the back. Then he gets his back taken as he rolls under. He goes to turtle, rolls under again, and then gets caught in a rear naked choke, and Smith gets the finish. Had this fight gone on, maybe we would have seen Price start to pick him apart, but they both were looking exhausted. Price always is tired. He fights tired every single time. So it's hard to watch him fight. He's taken so much freaking damage. All right, let's talk about some sloppy heavyweights. Actually, it wasn't too sloppy. Jhonata Diniz taking on Alvin Hines. Alvin Hines stepping up on 18 days' notice for his UFC debut. But Hines with those high and tight guard, looking to land that big right hand. He moved pretty well for a heavyweight, despite not having great smooth, he didn't have smooth striking. And they kept saying he wanted to get into some grappling exchanges, maybe some wrestling. Didn't look so smooth with that either. So, it's UFC heavyweights, or it's heavyweights in general, so he might be able to hang around for a while. He can clearly take a punch. Diniz keeping his head high, leading away with the counter to hook with that right hand, hooking with that lead hook, and caught him with that I don't know how many times. Diniz looks like he just wants to land a big shot, even though he's landing the lead hook at will. He's landing that jab, busting him up. Hines took a ton of damage to the face. He was wearing it so bad. And then Hines started to float, right? Or he's throwing things and overcommitting to strikes and kind of, being very sloppy, right? And Diniz clearly he outdamaged him, outlanded him 13-25. Clearly his round 10-9. Second round, Hines is throwing the same strikes over and over, and Diniz is doing the same thing, right? Hines throws the 1-2. Diniz throws the check hook. That's what was going on, and Diniz was getting the better of it, 37-17. He's tried that front kick 4 or 5 times. It didn't land, but is getting close. Hines getting rocked and then playing possum to land a big overhand right. This wasn't a blowout round despite that 37-17 striking differential. It's just, Diniz looks like he has a game plan. He's landing cleaner strikes. Looks like he comes from a striking background. He's a kickboxer. Makes sense. So I had him up 20-18. Last round, they're saying Diniz is tired, but he just doesn't look like it's making him fight horribly. They're saying he's labored, but both guys are. They're heavyweights, and Diniz is having as much of an issue with the guy. If he's having this much of an issue with a guy that stepped up on 18 days' notice for his UFC debut, I don't see him climbing the ladder much. I think he could have maybe some fun fights with some action fighters, but I don't know if his skill set, as it currently stands, will allow him to climb the ladder at heavyweight. That being said, it is heavyweight, so you only need 2 good wins, and you could be in a title contention. And then Diniz complains about an eye poke. There was an eye poke. Hines did catch him with that pinky. Diniz took a huge break. Good for him, taking advantage of the foul. He looks fresh. Hines is back to where he was, but he wasn't getting countered this round as much. And then after Diniz is fresh, now he's starting to counter again. Hines is landing more this round. His output is keeping ahead, in my opinion. It says Diniz landed more, 43-40. I gave Hines this last round. It seemed like he landed more damage. It seemed like he landed the harder shots. So looking at the scorecards, did anybody give him that? All 3 judges gave Chris Lee, Tony Weeks, and Clemens Werner. Boy, they suck. All gave Hines that round. So I think everybody got it right on that one. Anyway, that's it. That was the prelims. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys watch the prelims? Are you going to watch the prelims? Oh, man. I know it's the end of the video, so nobody's here. If you're here, comment down below. Let me know that you made it to the end. The first 2 fights in the McKinney fight, I mean, the Niko Price fight had some dull moments. So like, if you skip the chick fight in the prelims, you could actually have a good time. It's not. I don't think it's appointment viewing, but they ended so fast and they ended with a bang, despite the commentary being kind of bullshitty on fighter damage. I don't think it's worth watching. It's not gonna change your world if you miss it. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what you guys thought about the main card, this one. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of thing. That way next video is coming out. If you like this video, hit the like button. I appreciate you guys. Love you. Have an amazing week.